We are now into a new chapter in math in our Go Math book. So it's the book that has the bunnies on it, but if you look in the upper corner, you will see that it says Chapter 4. That's the book that you need for today. We have completed all of the other books, so we don't need those any longer, but we do need Chapter 4. So get out that book, it looks like this, and open it up to the very first page, and the pages do not begin with 1. They have their own numbers. Chapter 4, represent and compare numbers to 10. Apple trees grow from a small seed. About how many seeds are in an apple? The inside of an apple has 5 carpels arranged like a star. Do you remember we cut our apples in half and made the star design back in beginning of October? Well, think about it. There are 5 carpels arranged like a star, and in each one of those, there are 2 seeds. So if there are 5 carpels, and each carpel has 2 seeds, use your counters to find the number of seeds. So I did this a little different. I have 5 groups, and each of those groups have 2 in them. So take a minute and count all of those dots. All right, if you counted those, you would see that there are 10 dots. So there are about 10 seeds in each apple. What an interesting fact. All right, you're going to turn to page 178 in your book, and you will see a 9 and a 7 at the top of the page. This is showing what we already know before we kind of get into everything in the lesson, our first lesson in Chapter 4. So there's a 9 there. Draw 9 flowers. Draw 9 flowers. Be sure to pause the video so that you can draw 9 flowers. Okay, now you are going to draw, beside the 7, you are going to draw 7 flowers. You're going to draw 7 flowers. You may pause the video while you draw 7 flowers. All right, next one down there at the bottom, you see yellow flowers. I want you to count those yellow flowers and write how many yellow flowers you see. Pause the video while you count and write the number. All right, next to it, number 4, there are red flowers. I want you to count the red flowers and write the number beside the red flowers. Pause the video while you count and write the number. Number 5, there are purple flowers. Go ahead and count the purple flowers and write the number beside the purple flowers. Pause the video while you count and write the number. Number 6, there are pink flowers. Go ahead and count the pink flowers and write the number of flowers that there are. You may pause the video while you're counting and writing the number. All right, everyone, turn to page 179, where you're going to see a little boy and a girl with their dog having a picnic. All right, we are going to look at the page with these children, and we are going to compare the sets of objects. The first thing we're going to do is I want you to count the number of carrots and then count the number of celery sticks. Count the carrots. How many carrots do you see? Good, there are 3 carrots. Count the number of pieces of celery. How many pieces of celery do you see? Great. That is 3 as well. So let's find the words or word that describes the carrots and the celery. Is the carrots greater than the celery? Are the carrots less than the celery? Or are they the same number as the celery? Take a minute, think about it, and you have 3 words on this paper. Above the trees, you see the word greater. By that one bush there, you see the word less. And at the bottom of the picnic, you will see the same number. So, the carrots and celery. Which word describes the comparison of carrots and celery? You may pause the video while you circle the correct word. All right, there were 3 pieces of carrots and 3 pieces of celery, and that is the same number. All right, now you are going to describe the number of trees and the number of bushes. So let's go ahead and count the number of trees. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's count the number of bushes. 1, 2. So let's talk about that. There is a greater number of trees than there are bushes. There is less of a number of bushes than there are trees. Greater means more, less means a smaller amount. Next thing you're going to do is turn to page 180, and you're going to play this game, Spin and Count. So you can use 2 dice and roll 2 dice together to count the numbers. You can use, say you have a game at home that has some other type of counter, you can use that. So you're going to find a marker and start on the start line at the top. You can use any kind of game pieces that you want. Say you want to use the pieces from Candyland. Say you want to use a couple different colored Legos, and that could be your game pieces. Then you can use 2 dice, or you could use a paper clip and stick it on that spinner and flick it to create a spinner. So what you're going to do is you're going to spin, and whatever number it lands on, or if you roll 2 dice, whatever number that lands on, you are going to move your game piece to the square that has that number of items on it. And then each person's going to move his or her marker to the next space that has the same number of objects on as the number on the spinner or the dice. The first person to reach the end is the winner. And the last thing we're going to do as we start to ease into chapter 4 is we are going to find these flashcards. You may tear this page out of your book and you may cut on the dotted line to make flashcards. Now I want you to notice that the black word is the word, the math vocabulary word in English, and the blue word is the vocabulary word in Spanish. As far as I know, no one in our class speaks fluent Spanish, so I would not worry about that. However, when you flip them over, when they're all cut out and you flip them over, there is a little illustration on the back that helps you to understand each of these new terms that we're going to be learning about in chapter 4. So maybe if there is somebody at your house who could maybe go over these terms with you, these vocabulary words, and look at the picture, that would be great.